Hello everybody, my name's Chantel. I am a first-time mum and you'll have to excuse my son hiccuping just over there. He's also got these crinkly books which he absolutely loves, but they make a little bit of noise, so sorry about that. Today I'm going to be talking about the things that I'm really glad we didn't do before my son arrived. And to start with, I didn't read anything. Well, I did read a little bit, but I didn't go researching any of the things that my brain asked me. I literally just left it all to nature. I was like, I don't need to know what's happening inside my body and where my organs are going and all of those weird and wonderful things. I downloaded the Pregnancy Plus app on my phone, and that shows you how big your baby is every week. It gives you a little bit of information about how they're growing, and it kept the information small but still quaint, and it was so cute just following it and seeing when he was the size of a pineapple and when he was the size of a butternut squash. The other thing I did was buy this was my holy grail, but it's so much easier and nicer to keep the information you're getting to a limit, I guess, is the what I'm trying to say, when you have it in a book. And it's probably different if you've already got children, but when you don't have children, you have time to read the books. I've got What to Expect in Your First Year, haven't even touched it because I've been busy. But when you're expecting, What to Expect When You're Expecting was my holy grail. We evidently only got that far, which is, when's that? The 9th month. Fully recommend this book. You can get it on Vinted, pretty cheap. That's where I got mine. Yeah. So keep knowledge to a minimum. You only need to know what you need to know. Leading on from that, we also didn't do any of the classes. Now, I don't know if that's because both of our mums were saying that midwives would teach us, and we found that midwives didn't teach us as much as our parents remember them teaching them. Yeah, we just didn't do the classes, and to be honest, I'm pretty glad we didn't. We've kind of figured everything out on our own, and I think that's led us into being really intuitive. So we haven't had to, Google is our best friend, don't get me wrong, but not doing the classes has meant that we figured everything out by ourselves, and therefore we're in a better mindset to carry that through as he grows. I feel like the baby classes, when they focus on purely the babies and what to do when you first bring them home, and again, I didn't do the classes, I don't know what they involve, but it's just led us to be really intuitive parents. And we're taking every day as it comes, and it felt like the right decision for us. And that's the whole thing. You carry that through into parenthood with you. You just have to do what is best for you and your family and your situation. If you feel like you need lessons and you're going to feel better having had lessons, by all means. They're quite expensive, but great baby shower gift. If people are asking you what you want, get a group of people together and get them to chip in a tenner, and you got your lessons paid for. So leading on from that as well, obviously not knowing and just being intuitive, me and my partner didn't actually talk about how my son would sleep past him being 6 months old. So we knew that he'd be in the bassinet. What are you chewing? Oh, that's fine. We knew he'd be in the bassinet until he was 6 months old. Didn't quite work out that way because I have a giant of a baby. So we bought the Acaro pram from Mamas and Papas second hand, and had the bassinet come in that bundle, and we were like, great, we'll buy the stand that has come out for the Acaro too. They can't legally recommend that you use the Acaro 1 bassinet with the Acaro stand because it's shallower than the Acaro 2 bassinet, which they can recommend, but we felt comfortable with that. again, you know, following our intuition. And he was in there for 2 months and then outgrew it. He was like in the bassinet, like, I can't move. So luckily my cousin gave us a secondary bassinet, which is the size of a travel cot. I think it's the size of a travel cot. I can't see that travel cots would be bigger than that, because how would you pack it away? But it's 83 centimetres long, as opposed to, I think, 60 is the bassinet. My son is about 75 centimetres long at the moment. So we've just transferred him out of his bassinet, which is actually playing in now, into his big boy cot. So, in a roundabout way, we didn't talk about his sleeping situation. And that's kind of done us a favour, because we weren't so set on it that we couldn't change it, because we needed to change it because of our situation and how big my son is, or our son is. So yeah, interesting. And we probably should have discussed it more. They always say, they always say to discuss everything about having a baby first. And we always knew things like, we're not going to get him indoctrinated into any religion. He's definitely going to school. You know, things like that. Like going to school as opposed to homeschooling, that kind of thing. Aha, okay. The next ones, I knew I was going to breastfeed. I've always wanted to breastfeed. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. I totally understand that for some people it's not possible, it's not their preference. It was my preference. And I'm so grateful that we're still going strong. He is exclusively breastfed and I'm loving it. I think it's amazing. Also, it's making me laugh, and he's like, now that he's more mobile, it makes me laugh. Like the situations he gets himself into to feed. I'll probably do another different whole total breastfeeding video. But what we didn't do was buy a breastfeeding pillow. And I'm very pleased about that. But we did end up, like, before he was born, because obviously we didn't know if we'd use it. I had a pregnancy pillow gifted to me from one of my really good friends, and I ended up trying that out in a breastfeeding pillow situation, and it worked really well. So we bought a breastfeeding pillow just off Amazon. I'll try and link it below. And it worked really well for about a week while he was small. And it just meant that he was too high up. He couldn't get under the boob. And then I had like fast flow issues. And so it didn't work for us. But now the breastfeeding pillow is working really well as a support for him to fall onto. So it's got a totally different use than what we bought it for, but it's worked really well in how he's learning to sit up, and like, you know, just it'll be a comfy place for him to sit as well, which is really nice. So having things that we're giving multi-purposes, that's a really good thing. But we didn't buy it before he was here, and we're glad about that. We also didn't buy any of the big gadgets. So, and I don't know if we actually have. We bought him a bouncer, and we were gifted 2 playmats, where what are they called? Are they playmats? Like activity centre with the thingies that go across and they hang down things. I don't know what I'm trying to. I think they're playmats. But yeah, and I'm so glad, because we weren't overwhelmed when he was really small, and we've kind of gradually bought things as we've needed them. So we've bought things like actual playmat. Like I bought tiles, and then in a charity shop I found an actual playmat that was only £4.50 that we can then like play on while he's learning to walk. It gives him extra padding and things like that. We've bought him a little car walker thingy which has doubled as a high chair while our high chair is being delivered. And I don't know what else we've kind of bought. We basically bought what we knew we were going to use, and we have used that chair pretty much every day. Chair bouncer, the baby Bjorn bouncer, got it second hand. We've used that literally every day of his life. maybe missed a couple at the beginning, but it's such a useful tool to have him to be able to put somewhere. And then, yeah, anyway. Yeah. The other thing we didn't do, which, okay, so we moved into, I'd been renovating this cottage for 2 years, and we found out we were pregnant. So my boyfriend and his dad worked so hard to get the house finished. And then we moved in January, had my son in February. And so we decided not to buy a new sofa. Our sofa is my granny's old sofa. Oh my goodness. And I'm so grateful we've got it, because we were going to buy a new sofa. That was the plan. We bought it here while we were picking a new one. And then we started realising the lead times on sofas. A sofa takes ages to be built, like made, whatever. And so we decided not to get one. And our sofa is not good looking or aesthetic at all, unless you are a grandma. And we're really glad we've got it. Oh, you're going to stand there. Are you going to stand there? Yeah. We're really glad that we've got it, because the amount of bodily fluids that have ended up on that sofa accidentally, and we're clean people. The sofa is clean. We've cleaned them each time something lands on there that it's not supposed to land on. You know, we're really glad that we don't have a new sofa. Because you peed on it too? Yeah. And you vommed on it? It's lovely. Pretty sure there's some breast milk on there, because, you know, I'm a leaky lady. And yes, it's just something we're really glad we didn't do. We didn't buy new furniture that is now ruined, because now we can buy a new sofa when he is less, when he's less leaky too. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that those things are quite clear. I might just run over them really quickly, because I feel like I waffled a lot. Yeah. Did Mama waffle? Yeah. Did she? So, we didn't buy a new sofa because fluids. We didn't buy a breastfeeding pillow because ultimately you don't know if you can breastfeed. We didn't buy any of the fancy gadgets before he was here. We've been buying them as we go along, and that is working really well. We didn't talk about his sleeping situation past his first bed or first bassinet. And I think that worked really well for us, because we weren't then set in a plan. We could change and adapt it, which I'm sure we would have done even if we had a plan, but we didn't have to change and adapt it. It just meant that we could go with the flow. We didn't do any of the classes because we didn't feel the need to. And the only things I read were from What to Expect When You're Expecting and the Pregnancy Plus app. I didn't read anything else on Google. I didn't scare myself. I didn't read too much into where my liver was ending up when baby was in there. And that is just, it's the best bit of advice I can give. It's just don't like read into all of the little nitty gritty things online. Just read the basics, let your body do its thing, because it knows exactly what to do. Mother Nature is a wonderful teacher. And yeah. So I hope if you're expecting, these tips are helpful. If you're a mama with a beautiful baby already, I wonder if you did the same. Let me know if you've got any other tips of what you didn't do before baby arrived. Let me know. Put them in the comments. Give some advice to someone else who might be expecting. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't waffle too much. And I'll see you in the next one. Mr. Man! My Mr. Man! Oh, how's your my baby? Right, let Mama tie her hair up. No, stop holding on to it. No, that's mine. No, it's mine.